Hello everybody and welcome back to day 2 of the third Limitless Qualifier. I am Martin Wagner and I'm joined by Marco from Italy today. How are you feeling? Did you have a good night? Did you rest well? Are you ready for day 2, Marco?
Yes to all those questions. We are absolutely ready for this day 2. It's gonna be once again a long day, but this is where things start to take form. We saw on day 1 that there was a lot of variety into the meta. Obviously, something you expect, when you have this new set that just clashed onto the current meta. But we saw that overall, some decks came back, some new decks appeared. But it looks like I think Pikarom is dominating. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. At least it has like the most percentage of the decks in day 2, so yeah, it certainly has a good transition rate. And of course, yesterday we saw just how insane the deck actually can be, how flexible it has become, and I'm not really surprised by that. But I think we're already going into our first game. Do you want to tell us which players we have selected for this round? Because
Exactly,
I
and
know
this
you're
is a
hyped.
this is a big match because we are featuring Jens, and at the same time we're featuring Kyle Puka. And you know already, yesterday I proved myself to be quite a fan of the guy. But yeah, this is gonna be a match between Titans. We're gonna see actually a Pikarom against Blacephalon matchup. What do you think about this matchup? I played it a lot, but I think you played it as well, some of it.
Yeah, I think the dynamic always changes a little bit, but overall, you would feel like if Blacephalon is able to stabilize and go through the first early turns without like missing anything, or yeah, if it sets up well, I feel like it should be pretty favored in the Pika matchup because it's Pikarom is a tag team, right? And if Blacephalon can one-shot it, they trade up on prices just naturally.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
but I think Pika has, of course, quite a few tools to deal with it. I think, especially like Tag Bolt can be really devastating for Baby Blacephalon to deal with.
Indeed, indeed. And back in the day when Blacephalon Green was the deck and Pikarom was as well one of the main contenders for the meta, it sometimes it made sense to like Tag Bolt and sometimes you took the game, but right now they play even more Pokemons. So at least they were able to mitigate that effect, but still Tag Bolt, as you say, is so devastating, can knock out an Oricorio and a Blacephalon, or even two Blacephalon. It's probably the best way for the Pikarom deck to take this game. But there we go, we're already in the game. We saw a Dedenne very aggressive, discarding I think about 5 supporters. That was the starting head of Jens. So yeah, he's already accelerating, which I really like, because Pikarom needs this.
Yeah, you want to get your Pika down with the turn 1 energy attachment. That's so important to get the momentum. But also strong start from Puka here. Already having the Welder +2 energy in his hand onto the Baby Blacephalon.
Indeed, indeed. And there we go. We see him. Very good play here by Jens to put the Bolton V onto the active, not only to protect the Pikarom, which is a GX, while Bolton is a V Pokemon. So in case we will see a turn 1 knockout, plus even the Beastbringer, this will mean that 4 prizes on turn 1. At least he's trying to mitigate the damage, but actually Puka is not able to do anything more than just weathering 2 energies. So it's a pretty safe spot here, I would say, for the Pikarom player.
Yeah, you feel quite nice if you can get the first attack off without being pressured at all. That feels really good. And yeah, we see. I'm really interested in seeing whether Jens will go for just the Electrify or if he wants to go for full Blitz here.
Yeah. It's also interesting because he already has 3 boss orders in the discard. And this is probably one of the most important decks in this matchup, being able to snipe the support Pokemon that Blacephalon is able to rely on is very massive. And having already 3 boss orders in the discard, oof, that's not good.
Yeah, won't really have access to that supporter in the later stages of the game. Also, not getting any energies off the research, so probably if he
Indeed.
wants to attack this turn, he will have to follow it up with the Dede change. There we
Yeah,
go. Dede change discarding the Raichu.
he actually did not attach the energy with the Tapu Koko. Interesting.
Yeah, because now he can either full blitz or or just go for the Volt Hunt. I think because you don't need to commit to it. You can always just do it after you did a change, I guess. Maybe it's the reasoning behind it, but
yeah, he's just gonna retreat, switch it to the Boltund, and probably just charge it up with Electrify. That's fair. I like it. Usually when I play Picarom, I tend to be a bit more aggressive, but Picarom is such a resourceful deck that you can even allow yourself to have some turns to set up, and Boltund is a great addition to the deck.
yeah, there we see the strategy being executed, right? Where you go for the Electrify turn 2 to go get yourself a turn 3 tag bolt without even having to put your Pika at risk. And if you maybe are able to combine that with the boss order, it can be really devastating, especially for decks that have a little bit of more fragile boards like a Baby Blacephalon.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And we see actually Puka trying already, piling up those energies in his hand with the Fiery Flame. We might see the first knockout already in this turn by this Blacephalon. But of course, Picarom is such, as you said, a devastating deck that if you're not able to set yourself up and you start taking knockouts, then that might come back to bite because you will not be able to like run the last mile of the match.
Yeah, it's often like we saw it on stream yesterday, right? Picarom can just sometimes donkey on turn 1, and that's just also the strength of the deck. If you get the combo off, it's just so insane. So
Blitz turn 1 has been devastating in all metas, just able to accelerating 6 energies on the board turn 1. It's pretty good. Yeah. Let's see actually what he goes for here. Just this massive hand from the Blacephalon player. We know 4 of those cards are energies. Will he go for the knockout or will he go for a setup? And to be fair, he just needs, I don't know, an Oricorio on the bench so that next turn he will be able to draw cards. A Lucky Egg attached to the Blacephalon, and he will be able to just take on this Picarom menace. There we go,
yeah,
there's a switch.
I think it's good to push for the knockout here if you have it. You know, you want to apply some pressure, and also Boltard is an attacker that doesn't need like you don't need to commit to it in any way to knock out a Blacephalon. Yep. Can just go for knockouts with 1 energy, and you want to like it's a really good attacking option in this matchup too. Not only for accelerating, but also pressuring, and you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. I think. Because all the other attackers that threaten your Blacephalon would require like 2 or 3 energy, so...
Yeah, exactly. I think Jens might have some troubles here, because he plays 3 copies of Professor Research, he plays 3 copies of Boss Orders, but he already used them.
Yeah, there are lots of supporters.
Exactly, he only relies on the Dene from now on, and, you know, having your bench full of the Dene, that's the problem about the Dene itself. Sometimes it fills your bench and you're not able to free it. That means less attackers. Oh, I don't know. This game is still open. Very, very much open.
Luca just going for the setting up the other Blacephalon. I like that as well.
Yep.
Maybe either he had some knockout or and decides to play had the knockout and decide to play defensively, or oh, okay. Maybe he has the welder for 2 plus the knockout as well. That would be great. But yeah, setting up the second Blacephalon if you have time to is really, really important. Then your opponent is to, like with the take board, is either forced to KO your Jirachi with the escape board and remove your pivot, or just take off all your energy.
Exactly.
And remove both Blacephalons, but then you're still left with 2 Jirachis, and that makes it somewhat easy to recover.
You said it really well, Martin, here. The pivotal point for decks such as Blacephalon is so important. Being able to, for example, here knock it out by... If this turn we will see attack bolt for the full effect, Kyle was good and has played well enough so that he predicts that and already has set up another Blacephalon. So right now he needs to decide if he's able to do this attack bolt to knock out either or. And he also drew an Edge Ghost, so that's another support that he can access to.
Yeah, that's really important. But I think you can... Oh, he's just going to throw it away. I thought he would maybe save it for like a later game.
I think he's just pushing, man. He's just pushing on the accelerator. He's just saying, "Hey, man, I know your deck. The longer we go, you have the advantage in taking prizes. So I'm just gonna try to put as much pressure as I can right now."
Yeah, I think also Jens wants to get to his reset stamps, right? These are
I
so
like that.
important
I
in this
like that.
matchup. Step to 4 already really good. Can sometimes mess up the Blacephalon deck a lot already, because the combo they need is just so insane every turn.
Exactly.
I mean, usually they're able to get it, but sometimes the stamp can just stop them in their tracks.
Indeed.
Not committing for the tech bolt here. I like this a lot because you threaten it, right? You threaten the tech bolt, but you don't have to commit for it. But your opponent still has to play around it because you could
Yes.
go for it if you want to.
Yeah, the only thing is that Jens is running out of energy. He does have those speed energy left in the deck just to run from the prizes, and he has the energy switches as well. But for example, if
Yeah.
this Thunder Mountain is removed this turn, it could be troublesome
Yeah,
because
then you
at
would
that
need
point,
another energy switch, right?
yeah, exactly. And for tag bolt, I do like tag bolting when I play Vikram as early as I can, just for the fact that it puts so much pressure, it sets your opponent back so much. That yeah, it's gonna be. Do you think maybe we'll see Mew come back into the meta?
Yeah, I would think that at least some decks would start to incorporate a Mew, because of the sheer aggressiveness and consistency that Pika provides currently. Yeah, I think a lot of decks will start to pick it up again. But sometimes, yeah, it feels sometimes kind of bad, because there are so many other relevant Pokemon that you can play as a tech option, so that feel like more rewarding, I guess. Also, maybe Jens is holding the tech bolt because he's waiting for something like an Oricorio to hit the board.
Yes.
So that he can clean that off and yeah, remove that from the board as soon as possible.
Especially since he used all of his boss orders now, he doesn't have access to anymore. Especially he discard as well the Elgos.
Yeah,
So yeah, right now he needs probably to calculate his resources really well. At any
yeah,
point, the tag bolt when it will hit, and it's also as you said, it's a threatening position for the Cephalon player for Kyle, because he cannot bench the Oricorio. In that case, he would just risk to just give 2 prizes to his opponent.
yeah. I like the Blacephalon GX bench here. If you maybe not able to go for the knockout, you can either maybe go for Burn Confuse
Yeah,
or just accelerate energies to it and threaten the KO on the following turn, because your Blacephalon GX has 180 HP and can't be tech bolted that easily. And
exactly.
even the Great Catcher's gone for Jens at that point, so yeah, he is, as you said, there are no means of casting anymore.
I'm not sure if the Ordinary Rod has been played already by the Blacephalon player, by Kyle. If he didn't, then he can just attach an energy, switch this turn, take the knockout. Oh no, actually there is the Big Charm.
Yeah,
That's
Big
gonna
Jump
prevent.
coming in clutch again, right?
Oh
It's
yes.
so huge, it makes Pika essentially a regular tag team, right? With the 270 HP.
Yeah.
It's not
Kyle,
this
yeah, regular active. Because
not the
Pickup
frail glass cannon
is the
anymore.
small brother of tag teams. Tag teams we saw from the sets always 10 HP more, 10 HP more, but Pickup was the first one. It was 240. And already at the reveal, he was like, "Oh my god, 240 HP, that's massive." Oh, it should be said, however, that Kyle does play that single copy of the Beast Energy. If he does draw that, then in that case, maybe it was what he was hoping for in this situation.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, obviously playing Picarom against the Blacephalon, if you're able to run them over, as Jens is doing really well right now, then it's good, and you probably have that matchup. There's the Beast Energy, and there's the switch. There we go.
Oh, drawing the beast energy.
Massive.
Beast energy coming in super clutch right there.
Exactly. Even
And
the Cramorant in the bench already menacing the knockout on that
benching the
Dene. Any
benching
of
the
the
Cramorant
Denes.
here is exactly what you want to do. Because it can't get targeted because your opponent needs to deal with the Blacephalon GX. So there's no risk in benching it, and I think there's no second stamp in Jens's deck, at least. Maybe it's
Yeah.
in the prize cards. So he was hoping for stamp to 1, of course. That
Where's
you
the
can see.
Volkner? There's no
Yeah,
stamp. It's in the prizes. Yuck.
yeah.
Oh
You can.
man.
I mean, you can see what he was going for, but unfortunately, the prize cards are not cooperating this time.
Exactly.
But
And Kyle does play the one copy of the denim. Maybe he didn't put it out up until now. It's probably what he was hoping for right now. We could see a tag bolt actually this turn, but that's still short of some energies to take the 5 prizes, and that's the power, when you're trading with single prize attackers against a tag team Pokemon. And Persephone was printed in Unbroken Bounds, and it kind of covered that that place. Knockout on the Jirachi with the skateboard here. Great choice, absolutely. Let's see if the reset stamp is drawn from the prize at least. No reset stamp.
No reset stamp so far.
And the Cramorant already in the active. Oh boy.
Promoting the Cramorant means probably game. Yeah.
Ah, there it is. 2 energies. Is there one more? And yes. That's the split shot. Knockout on the non-full art Dedenne. The odd one. And yes, Kyle is gonna take that game. The first time on stream which he wins a game.
Yeah.
We were worried.
He's moving on to a convincing 10 and 4 record, so he's still in contention to make it further in this tournament. And yeah, still, it's really nice to see that matchup play out. It always goes like differently, I think, because it's just so explosive.
Yes.
So yeah, and I really liked Jens's play. He clearly had a game plan. He knew what he was going for, and yeah, I think that's just the key, right? If you have a game plan going in, then you can execute on it consistently. And it didn't work out this time, but you clearly saw where he was going. So I really liked his play in this series.
Indeed. And pretty unfortunate draws for Jens as well in the early game, drawing those boss orders at the beginning, as well as the edge goss in a situation in which he needed more cards, he needed to accelerate. Pretty unfortunate for him. But overall, he showed once again the power of Pikarom. It was short of taking the final knockouts, but I think with just some extra boss orders, he would have done it no problem.
Yeah, it was really close overall. Like it always comes down to one turn, right?
Exactly. It's interesting as well, right? Because Blacephalon has adapted itself to play a lot of these two prizers on the bench. While back in the day, it used to play like, I don't know, the Pidgeotto version did not have any GX, if not a Blacephalon GX.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe now the boss orders is printed, before we just had Custom Catchers or Pokemon Catcher, which were not reliable? Maybe Blacephalon will adapt and play less of the two prizers?
I think like the two prize Pokemon that you currently play are so insane. Like the Oricorio is insane. The Dedenne is I think absolutely necessary right now. And the only thing that I think is debatable is maybe the Zacian. That is like something that, because it's only useful on turn 1 or turn 2, so I can see people dropping that. But the other GX Pokemon, I definitely see staying in the list because they are so important.
I do like Cramorant. Cramorant is obviously in a welder deck. You're kind of relying too much on the card. You cannot really play the other supporters such as Boss Order. So I think Cramorant will stick around. Maybe Oricorio, but he has 170 HP, so it's pretty scary to bench it against Pikarom. But we'll see how the meta shape up. This was the first game. We hope you enjoyed it. We featured 2 great players. And yeah, Martin, any last comments?
No, I'm just ready for round 2, I guess.
Alright then we'll see you for that. See you soon!